Morning, everybody. Wow, that's loud. How's everybody doing? That's good. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what not to do and what to do. All right, so here's some rules. We got 3 rules. It's fairly simple. Stay with your class. Stay in your seat, unless asked otherwise. And 2 fingers in the air like this means quiet. So when you see someone like me or one of the older guys or girls hold up their hands like this, you're supposed to shut your mouth. So the theme of this year that we're going to do for Children's Church Bible School is, I think it's just Children's Church, I don't know, is the fruits of the Spirit. So does anybody know anything about the fruits of the Spirit? Nobody. All right, that's good, because you're going to learn about it. And next, we have some special singing, I guess, next. And they're a little shy. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get a chant going to get them loosened up and encourage them forward. So what's going to happen is we're all going to say, hold on, I forget. Singing Surfers. That's their name of the group. So we're going to say, Singing Surfers. Then we're going to clap. We're going to go. You get that pattern. I can't really clap the microphone. It's like bam, 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 bam. They're like 2 slow ones and 2 quick ones. All right, so say with me. Singing Surfers. Singing Surfers. Singing Surfers. Louder. Singing Surfers. Louder. Singing Surfers.
Are you guys ready to sing? Let's go. You guys need to stand up and we'll get ready to go.
Space that His love can reach. There's no place where we can find peace. There's no end to amazing grace.
watching Life Tree Kids.
I didn't know it would be this hard. I didn't think I could fall so far. But here I am. How did I stray so far off course? How can I get back to the shore? Lord, here I am. And the waves are crashing all around. I need you, God, and I need you now. Rescue me. I can feel the water rising. Rescue me, Jesus. Rescue me, Lord. I've been so deep and I feel powerless to save myself. Only you can be the help I need. Rescue me. I didn't know it would be this hard. I didn't think I could fall so far. But here I am. Did I stray so far off course? How can I get back to the shore? Lord, here I am. And the waves are crashing all around. I need you, God, and I need you now. Rescue me. I can feel the water rising. Rescue me, Jesus. Rescue me, Lord. I'm in so deep and I feel powerless to save myself. Only you can be the help I need. Rescue me. Rescue me. Jesus, rescue me.
Good job, guys.
My lord, you have put your hand on this town. I can.
You guys might remember this song from
Thanks
BTS.
for watching Life Tree Kids.
The storm of life, I know you're by my side, so I am holding on to your promises. You are the God who holds all my dreams, so I am holding on. You never let go of me. You gave me hope when hope was all but gone. A second chance to sing a brand new song. You opened up my eyes to see. You rescued me, rescued me. You showed the way when there was no way out. Cleared up my mind when you erased all doubt. You made me strong when I was weak. You rescued me,
for watching Live Tree Kids.
Thank you, God, for saving me.
Thank you, God, for saving me.
Rescue from the middle of the ocean deep. Rescue from the middle of the ocean deep. You set my feet on solid ground. You set my feet on solid ground. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book. Every single page with a million reasons. Thank you, thank you, God, for the big blue sky. Birds that fly so high. Birds that fly so high. Thank you, God, for all my friends. Thank you, God, for all my friends. Thank you, God, for your awesomeness. Thank you, God, for your awesomeness. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book for every single page with a million reasons. Thank you, thank you, God, for all you've done. You gave your one and only Son. You gave your one and only Son. Now I can have eternal life. Now I can have eternal life. Thank you for my opened eyes. Thank you for my opened eyes. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I could write a book for every single page with a million reasons. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I could write a book for every single page with a million reasons. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lord.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. Oh, y'all can do better than that. That's much better. Okay, so we need to practice something. Does anybody remember what this means? Okay, so we're going to try something, okay? So I want you guys to talk to your friends and tell them about the best thing you did last week, but you need to pay attention to me, okay? So tell your friends about the best thing you did last week. You can talk. I'm giving you permission to talk, okay? And then we go. All right. Let's do it again. This time, tell your friend what your favorite food is, okay? Go. All right, awesome. Okay. So, who remembers what are we learning in children's church? Do you guys remember what Tucker said we're learning about? Do you remember? The fruits of the Spirit. And does anybody know what those are? Maybe a little bit? Can you tell me them? Yes. We'll go back and forth between you. Can you do that? Oh, give them a hand. Yeah. All right, awesome. So those are the fruits of the Spirit. If you ever want to read about them in the Bible, it's in Galatians chapter 5, okay? But, so we're going to go through, and each week, we're going to focus on one of the things, okay? And this first week, we're going to talk about love, okay? Can anybody tell me what love is? Anyone try to tell me what love is? Alicia. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like kindness. What is love like? What is something that you love? Peaches. Oh, yes, I love peaches. Swimming, you love swimming. Okay. Pizza. The Lord, that's a really good one. Family. Oh, yes, I love my mom. My mom is the coolest mom. Okay? I actually get to go home and see her in Indiana next month, and I'm really excited about it. The thing is about love is we use love for all kinds of different things, right? I love peaches, and I love dogs, and I love food a lot, and I love my mom, and I also love Jesus. So it's kind of this really big word, right? But the way you love peaches isn't the same way you love mom, right? So what's the difference there, right? So I kind of forgot to see what time I started, but we'll just go for it. So the plan is when we have teaching, we're probably going to have a drama team, and we're going to do some skits and stuff. The problem is not all, but most of my friends who are going to help me with that are not here this morning. So that means some of you are going to have to do the skit this morning. Okay? So we are going to have Anthony and Trisha is going to help us out. Okay, so you can come forward. Okay? And they're going to pick some of you, and you guys are going to go into a back room and figure out the skit, and then you guys are going to come up here and do it for us. Okay? So Anthony's going to go first, and he's going to pick some people to go with him to figure out their skit. So go ahead and do that. And Trisha is going to pick a group of you, and you guys are to go back and learn a skit, okay? So you guys can go ahead and do that, okay? Oh, all right. We got a whole bunch of boys. All right. So that's 8 of them. So you guys can head back and get ready to do your skit. And Trisha, you get to pick a group to go with you guys. Okay. Is that good? You guys need to go back there or find a room, like get back in the corner too, or in the back. Awesome. All right, so while they're doing their thing, we're going to have our own little lesson, all right? We're going to try to answer a couple questions about love, all right? So the first question is, where does love come from? Where does it come from? So, did anybody bring your Bibles this morning? You didn't? Okay, maybe you can bring it next time, okay? Awesome. So, I want you guys to go in your Bibles, and I want you to find 1 John chapter 4, okay? 1 John chapter 4. It's towards the end of the Bible, okay? First John chapter 4, and we're going to start reading in verse 7, okay? 1 John chapter 4, starting in verse 7, okay? Has anybody found it yet? Does anybody want to read verses 7 to 10 for us? Raise your hand if you want to volunteer. or else I will pick on someone. Do you want to read it for us? Verses 7 to 10. No? Okay. Maybe one of the ladies there in Victoria's row, I bet they can read. Do you think they can read? Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to each read a verse then. We're going to start with Mia, and we're going to go across this way. So 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go for it. Awesome. All right, give them a hand. Okay? So, it might have been hard to hear them, but it says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God." So, where does love come from? God. It comes from God. Very good. It says, "Whoever does not love doesn't know God, because God is love. And this is how God showed his love for us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. And this is love, not that we loved God first, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins." So God is love, and that's where we get our love from. But the other question is, what is love? What does it look like? Okay? So now we're going to look up 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Okay? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And I will read that for us, okay? So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we're going to start in verse 4. And here we go. So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. It says, so the question is, what is love? What does it look like? It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It doesn't boast. It's not proud. It does not dishonor others. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. And love does not delight in evil, but it rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always perseveres. Love never, ever, ever fails. Okay? So love is a pretty big word, right? It does all these things. It's kind, it doesn't envy. So when there's that one thing that you really want, and then your friend gets it. It's kind of hard, isn't it? But love doesn't envy, and instead it's like, oh, that is so awesome. Sawyer got that thing that I wanted, right? And you can be happy for Sawyer because he got it, right? So love is all kinds of different things. And the other question is, why should we love? Why should we love? So to do that, we're going to go into the Bible, and we're going to go back to 1 John, okay? The first reference we looked up, we go back to 1 John. And again in chapter 4. So 1 John chapter 4. But this time we're going to start reading with verse 11. So 1 John chapter 4, verse 11, it says, "Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. So we are supposed to love each other because God loved us. How did God love us? Can anybody tell me, how did God love us? Or how does he love us? Do any of you guys know? How does God love us? How did he prove his love for us? Yeah, he gave his son, right? When Jesus died on the cross, we just had Easter a little bit ago. That was last week or 2 weeks ago, I think, right? And we celebrated when God sent his son to die for us. That showed God's love for us, okay? He also shows his love for us by those mountains out there and the beautiful creation we get to live in, okay? That's how he can show his love for us. And since God loves us, he asks us to love one another, okay? So, I need some response here. How can we love each other? Yes. By not fighting, that's a good one. Oh, yes, you can show you love your mom. Whoa. Show you love your parents by obeying them and listening to them. Yeah? Yeah, obeying God. How can we love each other? Oh, you can, yes, and love your sister. Obey your mom, yes. Let's see. One thing you can do is coffee. I like coffee. So you can bring coffee to people, and that's how you can show that you love them, right? Or there's all kinds of different ways that we can love each other. What about when you're at school and you see someone, we're out at recess, and somebody falls and hurts their knee? What's a way that you can love them? Help them. How could you help them? By seeing if they're okay, asking them if they're okay, maybe letting a teacher know so that they can help and get some Band-Aids or whatever's needed. What are other ways that you can love people? By not blabbing, yes, that's a good one. What about maybe if you're really good at math and one of your friends isn't quite so good at math, how could you help them? How could you love them? Right. Try to help them understand. Like, because if you can understand, you can help your friend understand. Right? So there's all kinds of different ways that we can love each other. So in these skits that we're about to do, we're going to show some ways that people loved in the Bible. Okay? So we are going to have Anthony's group go first, and they're going to have a skit for us. You guys ready? All right, so we're going to see how love happened in the Bible, okay? So you guys can watch, and then we'll talk about it. Anybody know what that story was? In the back. The Good Samaritan, right? So how did the Good Samaritan show love? Yeah, so he helped the guy who got hurt, right? So there were some people also in that story who didn't show love. And how did they not show love? Right, if you see somebody hurt and you just ignore them, you're like, yeah, he smells kind of funny, I'm just going to keep walking, right? What are some other ways, or other people that didn't love him? What happened? See? So, he saw something he wanted, so rather than being happy that that person has a good thing, it's like, oh, I'm going to take it from him, right? That's not a very loving thing to do, right? So, now we're going to have our other story. You guys ready? All right, let's go. Anybody tell me what that story was? Anybody have an idea? Yes, the lost son, the prodigal son, right? So there was a boy who wanted to get his inheritance. And so he asked his dad for his money, and he took off, and he bought a bunch of things, and he was hanging out with his friends. And then what happened when he ran out of money? He didn't have anything, like nothing. Even his friends left him. Does anybody remember in the Bible, like, what did he have? He had a job. Does you remember what his job was when he lost all his money? Feeding stinky pigs. And he was so desperate that he even ate some of the pig food. And he finally decided, you know what? It's better that I go back with my dad. And how did the dad show that he loved his son? He had this big party, and he threw this big feast with all the best food because his son came back. Now, we're going to have one more of a quick object lesson that I'm going to try to show you guys, okay? So we're going to bring this right here. And can anybody tell me what this is? Not spray paint. I doubt any of you guys use it. Yes. Shaving cream. It's Barbasol. Have you guys ever heard of that little thing? Anyway, so we are going to use this to represent the shaving cream inside here is love, okay? So God put his love inside of us, right? Now, is the shaving cream inside the can, is it helping me anything? If I would go to shave right now, is the shaving cream inside the can, is it doing me any good? What needs to happen for it to help? You have to put it on, it has to come out, right? It has to come out. Because if the love that God puts inside you just stays inside you, if you don't use it, it's pointless. If we read in 1 Corinthians, in the beginning of chapter 13, it says, if you do stuff without love, it's pointless. There's no reason. So you need to love. The love needs to come out, and it just keeps coming out and keeps coming out. And it's still coming and just comes out because there's no, if we don't do it with love, then it's pointless. So if you go to school and you don't love, it's pointless. If you go shopping and you don't love, it's pointless. Everything you do, you have to do it with love. Otherwise, there's no reason for it. Yes? I could have done that, but this is kind of fun. So, no matter what you do, you need to do it with love, and that gives it purpose and reason, right? So if you go, how could you love when you go shopping to go buy some shaving cream? How could you do that? Okay, you could tell people about God's love. Oh yeah, let's say there's only one shaving cream left, okay? And you get to the aisle, and you see somebody else on the other side of the aisle, and you both start running towards the last shaving cream. You can let them have it, right? How could you show that you love the cashier? Is there a way you could do that? Yeah, you could say, keep the change, give them a tip. How could you love the person behind you in the line who's waiting to get stuff? How could you do that? Let them go first? What's another way you could do that? What could you do? Huh? Go really fast. Okay, right? Because nobody likes to be standing in line forever. Yes? You could pay for the person behind you. That'd be a really good idea. That's how you could love people. Let's see. What else could you do? I think that's about all the time we have, at least for teaching, okay? So we're getting to the next part. So hopefully you learned something. So love comes from God, all right? And because God loved us, we're supposed to love everybody else. And everything we do, we need to do it with love. Otherwise, it's pointless, okay? It's the shaving cream in the can, right? But when it comes out, it actually helps get you a nice, smooth shave. And you don't have to cut yourself and stuff because that's not fun. So, hope you guys learned something. And we're going to get ready for the next group, all right?
All right, up next we're having some games, so the people doing games can come on up and tell you what they're doing. So Vince and his crew can come up.
All right, how's everyone doing? All right, good. So we're going to have a little game time. And the way this is going to work is it's going to be a competition. This side against this side, all right? Now there's quite a few people here, so we can't have everyone play. But if you answer a question, we'll get a few of you to like represent your side, okay? So, as you can see, we have two different color cups here. Now, the first game is for ages 11 to 14. Now, here's the thing. You had to be paying attention. So if you want to play, you got to answer a question correctly. By the way, Aubrey and Tony are going to help me. So Tony's going to choose someone on this side to represent this side. So we're going to go with this side first, all right? Raise your hand if you know the question, if you know the answer to the question. Don't just blurt it out. All right, so this is 11 to 14. When is God's love pointless? What's his answer? When it's not used? That is correct. All right, Dan, choose a friend and come up here. All right, you guys will represent the red team. Okay, now over here, ages 11 to 14, again. Let's see. Okay, Aubrey, you're going to choose somebody. What's a good question? Oh, man. All right, what is one way God proves his love for us? Shy bunch. Come on. Come on. What was the answer? Okay, that's a good answer. All right. Choose a friend and come up here. All right, you guys will represent the green team. Okay, now this is going to take some teamwork here. This is going to be a race. All right, so what you have to do, you got to stack these 4 cups on top of each other with a piece of paper in between each one, all right? Then you're going to pull the papers out and get the cups to stack like this without touching the cups, all right? Make sense? Kinda? All right, part of it is figuring it out, all right? This is why we gave this to the older kids, all right? I have faith in you. You guys ready? You guys can talk strategy, whatever you want, okay? You ready? Are you guys ready? Cheer for your team, all right? Cheer them on. On your marks. Get set. Go. Now the hard part. Any hints out there? Yell them out. Yell them to your team. If you get 2 of them together, you can leave them together then. I give you a hint. Put the cup right on the edge of the paper. Make sure it's lined up nicely. Alright, we'll make it a little easier. Go ahead, then you step up. You're close. Alright. Good job, man. Good try. Thanks for playing. Alright. Our next age group, I should actually check this. 7 to 10. Ages 7 to 10, all right? We're going to start over here. Remember, don't just blurt it out. Raise your hand if you want to answer the question and play. Let's see. All right, why should we love? Or I'll let her choose. What did he say? For God. For God? Okay, you're kind of... Does anyone want to help him with that? Why should we love?
Because God did it.
Because God loved us. Yes, all right. So why don't you two come together? You both kind of got part of it. All right, I'll choose someone over here while Tony's grabbing the cups. All right, ages 7 to 10. Where does love come from? All right, choose a friend and come up here. Okay. All right, so this is a different race here. You guys, okay, one of you, okay, so step back, both of you step back. Now you guys are going to take turns. It's like a relay race, okay? First, one of you is going to make a pyramid out of the cups, okay? There's going to be 6 on the bottom row. And then it'll stack up above that. You have to make a pyramid, and then stack them all up in a stack like this again. And then the other person has to do the same thing, all right? So whichever team finishes first wins. You guys understand what you're doing? You guys know who's going first? Okay. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Green team, green team.
Red team, 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 red
Good job, guys. Good job. Okay, so we have a tie going to the last game. Both sides have won one. All right, so the last game is for, okay. All right, the last game is for ages 6 and under. All right? Ages 6 and under. We'll start over here again. All right. Where does love come from? You need to put your hand up to answer the question. Okay, we're going to come up with a different question. Does love ever fail? You can just point at someone. No. Okay, that is correct. All right, now choose a friend and come up here. Someone 6 and under. All right, you guys are on the green team. Okay, now we need someone over here. Okay, who was listening? What is today's fruit of the Spirit that we learned about? Love, you got it right? Okay, now choose one of your friends here in that row and come on up here. Okay, now this is our last game, so whoever wins this game wins the whole thing, all right? Okay, for this game, it's also kind of a relay, okay? Now, you're going to take turns. One of you is going to go first, and you're going to set all the cups out on the table. All by themselves, okay? Like that. All of them. Then the other person has to stack them up in stacks like this again, okay? So one person goes first and sets them all out. And the other person stacks them up. Okay, who wants to go first on your team? Okay, so you stand back and you wait for him. Who's going first? Okay, so you stand back a little bit and let her stack them all out. Okay? Now just wait. I'm going to tell you when to start, all right? You got it? You guys ready? On your mark, get set, go. As fast as you can. As fast as you can. Good job. job, everyone. Good job. You can go back now. All right. So the green team won this time. All right. So if you come back next month, we'll have more games. That was exciting. I don't know if I can handle any more of that. Thank you all for helping and joining in, and I think that's it for games. All right.